In part 1 of our tutorials on creating quizzes in Mwele, we learned how to make or select settings for our quiz. And the settings that we looked at include the timing of the quiz. For instance, is it 30 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on the number of questions. We also learned how to set the start and the end dates for the quiz, or the time within which the quiz is open. We also learned how to set the question behavior and how to shuffle the questions in the quiz, and many other settings. In this session, we want to learn how to add different types of questions into our quiz. And the quiz that we set up in part 1 is Mwele Practice Quiz. So I'm now going to click on Mwele Practice Quiz. It will bring me to this page. And to go ahead and add questions, I'll click Edit Quiz. So as you can see, as we add our questions, they will be lined up in this section. And I have my template with my questions already added there that I will be now adding in my quiz. Essay types of questions, true-false questions, multiple choice questions, numerical questions, short answer questions, and matching questions. Those are the types that we'll be learning how to add in Mwele. So I'll copy. My first question will be an essay type of questions. So to make the process faster, I'll copy the question. And when I come into the section, one thing to note is the maximum grade. By default, it will set the maximum grade to 10, but it depends on how many questions you have. If you have 30 and each question is 1 mark, then you probably need 30 here. So you have to take note of the maximum grade. So for me to add a question, I'll click Add and select a new question. If I was selecting from the question bank, I would click this. So for now, I'm adding a totally new question. And I want to add, the first type of question I'm adding is an essay type of question. So any type of question you select, there will always be a description of what that type of question. Now, an essay type of question, when you use it in a quiz, it will not be graded. It's the type where the students type in their answers, but you will have to review those answers away from the quiz. But the other types of questions will be automatically graded in the quiz. So I've selected essay, and then I'll click Add. So it will bring me to this page where you now begin to add the details of each of the questions that you are adding in the quiz. It will ask first for the question name, and my naming protocol will be question 1, question 2, question 3. So I'm calling this question 1. And the question text I already picked from the other side is this one. So I'll just remove this. It's just helping me to describe the quiz. So this is my question. In a paragraph, describe your experience while completing this quiz. So I want them to share their experience in terms of the time, the complexity or simplicity or the connectivity issues that they may have had when they are completing the quiz. So that's the question text. You type it in that box. And if you wanted to add an image as part of the question, you are able to use insert or edit image, and you can format your question in whatever way you would like. And in this part here will be the mark. So I'm putting my default mark for this question to 5. And then move on to the general feedback. And then I want to give feedback to the students. I'll say this question will be graded manually. I would like the student to be able to know that. And then there are other settings there. Require text, require the student to enter text, yes. Input box size, that's how large the box will be where the students will be typing in their responses. I'll put it to 40 lines so that it's large enough to accommodate what the student will be typing in. And when I'm done doing that, if I need any other information, I'll add it there. I'll come and say save changes. So as you will see, our first question has been added there, and it's recorded as question 1. So now I go ahead to add a second question, and I already have them here. This time we are adding a true-false question. I am copying my question, and then I come and say add a new question. I am adding a true false question. The description is given. I click add. So in this section, this particular question is question 2. And the text I have copied from there, the question text, I'll type it in there. I'll remove that description because I was using it simply to describe what type of question it is. And then also here, I've just put this to guide me on how to set up my quiz. So the statement says a lurker is a course participant who reads what the others have written in own group as well as other groups, but does not contribute to the discussion him or herself. Now that statement in itself is true. So when I go ahead to set up the quiz, the option that I will select from the options that will be given below as I will show you is the statement true. True is the correct answer for this statement because that statement describes what a lurker is. False would be the wrong answer. So when I come to the default mark, yes, I want it to just have 1 mark. And for the correct answer, it will ask you to select one of the 2 options, either true or false. Which is the correct answer? As I said earlier, the correct answer is true. And then the wrong answer is false. So I'm removing this because I put them there to just guide me in setting up my quiz. And so if you want to put a feedback for the response true, you will have it there. If you want to add any feedback for the response wrong, false rather, you would add it there. So I can say this is the wrong answer. For instance, I could say that. Yes, so now I have set up my true-false question with true being the correct answer. If wrong was the correct answer, then I would need to select false here. But if for this particular case, true is the correct answer. And when I am done setting up my true-false question, as you can see, I'll come and click save. So our second question has been added. And now we'll go ahead to add the third type of question in our quiz. And the third type of question is a multiple choice question with only one correct answer. This is our question text for it. I'll copy it to make the process faster. So I say copy and I go back to this page. I'll click add a new question. The question that we are adding is a multiple choice question with only one correct answer or a single correct answer. So in this place, this is our question 3 and our question text is this. I'll remove that. It says all of the following are branches of the external carotid artery except, and as I've put these options here just to help me know which is the correct answer. So this answer that has 100% is the correct answer. The other ones which are none means they are the wrong options in our selection. So this box is only for the question text. I'm going to remove this when I have finally set them up so that only the question remains in that box. So the default mark for that question, I would like it to have 2 marks. So, and if there's any general feedback, I'll add it in that place. So when you come to the bottom, it will ask one or multiple answers. There are 2 options. If you are using the multiple choice type where many answers are correct, then you use that. If there's only one correct answer, you will select that option. That's the option I'm taking. Shuffle the choices. Yes, that's why it is checked. How do I want to number them? I want the capital letters. And then now I begin to add my choices here. So I'll go back up and select choice number 1. The one which will go in the choice number 1 box here is that. So my choice is choice 1. It's lingo. I'll just put none here to guide me that it's not one of the correct answers. So if an answer is not correct, you leave the grade to none. So I'm going to pick my second option, which is actually the correct option, which is choice 2. So when I come in here, I'll go to the choice 2 box and then type in my correct choice. And I'll remove the word choice 2 because choice 2 is here already. Even the 100%, I'll put it just because I want it to guide me. Now that 100% in the grade for this correct answer, which is choice 2, I'll select 100. When I say 100%, the system knows that that is the correct choice. So I'll go and pick my third choice here. That's my third choice and it's also the wrong choice. We'll come and punch it in here. third choice is posterior auricular. That's my third choice. I'll leave it to none because it's a wrong answer. Then my last option here is this, superior thyroid. Okay, so those are the correct and the wrong answers. So for choice number 4, I will add it there, remove what I should remove from it, and leave only what should remain there, like that. So there are other choices, but I had only 4 options. So for the wrong option, you leave the grade to none. For the correct option, let your grade be to 100%. And if you have any feedback for each one of those options, you will have to put it in the feedback box. As in this correct one, I say this is the, okay, I'll say this is the correct answer. So I'll have that as my correct answer. And so I've been able to add my choices. And when I'm done, I'll come and say save changes. So for this quiz, I have been able to add a third option. It's a third question rather than it's a multiple choice question with one correct answer. And for this part 2, I'll quickly do another multiple choice question but which has multiple correct answers. So in this case, this is my question. I'll pick it from here just to make the process faster. And then I'll go and copy it and go back to this. I'll add a 4th question, add a new question. It's multiple choice, but this time more than one answer, more than one response is correct. Question name, this is our question 4, and the question text is here. I'll paste it. The question is, what is the difference between performers and learners? And I say 2 answers are correct. These are my options. For where I have put 100%, those are the correct options. So what I do, I'm just simply going to pick, and for this one, I would like it to have 2 marks as well, maybe 4. And I'll just pick the answer and take it to where it should be. But before that, remember it's a multiple choice question, but more than one answer are correct. So I'll select multiple answers allowed. I still want to use this nomenclature for the numbering. And then I will come and paste each of my choices. This is one of those wrong answers. So I'll leave the grade to none. I'll go back quickly and pick the second answer which is correct, which should be set to 100% because it's correct. So that will be my choice number 2. I'll come and punch it in here. I'll paste it, remove that 100. I was using it only to guide me when I'm setting up my quiz. And here, because it's one of the correct choices, I'll give it a grade 100%. I'll go and pick the third choice, which is also one of those correct ones, and I'll come and take it to choice number 3. I'll come and paste it here and remove that. So remove that, and it is 100 because it's one of the correct choices. And then I'll pick the very last choice, which is also a wrong option. It's not correct. So I'll come and it's now choice number 4. I'll come and paste it here. Okay, paste as plain text, remove the word none, as well as that. And it's none because it's one of those wrong ones. So I have set up now another multiple choice question, but with multiple correct answers, and I'll come and say save changes. Okay, none. Okay, instead they add up to 200%. Right, that's great. Because now here I can call it 50%, and the other correct option here will also be 50%, so that the 2 correct answers add up to 100, right? They add up to 100. So now I'll come and say save changes. All right. So for this part 2, we've been able to add this number of questions, and in part 3 we'll add other questions.